Welcome, 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 everybody. It is Sunday, noon Pacific, 3 Eastern, on August 23rd, 2026. We are so glad to have you with us. It is time for Master's Mind. It's a great way to end the previous week and start the new week, however you like to put your calendar for Sunday, because I know I've seen some calendars that have Sunday as the end of the week or has Sunday at the beginning of the week. So it doesn't matter. The point is you are here and we are going to enjoy some words of wisdom, more than just kind of what we always get, but maybe a little deeper than usual. And it's always a good thing to, again, as I said, start the week or end the week. And so with that, there was something I did want to share because Terry really had another great vibe of the day that, in a sense, it applies to today. There it is. And in a way of getting the week started as we head in towards, as we're starting to wrap up summer. I know that we've got a couple more weeks before Labor Day. School is getting started. Just a lot of things happening all at once. But I love, Terry, your vibe of the day. It is so good, and it has to be shared, in my opinion. If you've not seen it, here it is. We are not here long enough to be living unhappy. So smile, love, be grateful. Make the most out of this day. Make the most out of this life.
Nice.
So good.
Way to go,
Yeah,
Love.
exactly. Yep, exactly. So that being said, let's go ahead and give it up to our masters' minds, our GPSs to successes, our mentors in chiefs, and our dear friends. Ladies and gentlemen, Terry and Robert Hollis.
Craig, again, thank you so much. I love and appreciate you and always being here. And hello, Melody. God bless you, Deborah. Thank you, Dustin. Thank you, Ben, Lisa Marie, Michael and Angela, and another incredible master of mine's my son Matthew. It's great to have him on here. He's and love to Hannah and Ez, right? And so today, there's a little bit of dedication based on, some lives and stuff I do with people. So Lisa Marie really inspired me on this one. So I want to thank her for doing that. And also all of you that, continue to do donations and stuff. I really love that too. And it's so great that you guys do that. So, there's this phrase out there, what is, sort of the title, I guess, is the title. But a lot of people, when you hear the phrase, let go and let God, let go and let God. Let's cover the very first part of that. How many people really, really love letting go? I think that Ben raised his hand, and that was really, really nice. But how many of you, it reminds me, Matt and Terry will get the first thought that came in my mind. It was when Kyle was a baby. And I actually seen a video of this, and it just showed the small hands of a baby and a child, right? And it was showing this guy trying to get something out of this baby's hand. And he's like, listen, this is like a vice grip. You know what I mean? Their hand strength for their size is just incredible, right? So Kyle, when he was young, he had this little Godzilla that would fit in his hand. And you would try to pry and get that little Godzilla out of his hand. And it's like, it was like, it ain't happening. But when he had it, no one was paying attention. He would put Godzilla in places to hide him, so people couldn't get him. But he would put him in places that I would have to tear the seat apart on the Escalade to get it. So he put it in a VCR, didn't he? Put it in the VCR, and it's like, it's just hilarious. But a lot of us, know in life, if you guys know a lot about this, it's like a lot of us are not only, certified control freaks, But we also are spending a majority of our time white knuckling life. We just are white knuckling life, right? And when things came out like The Secret, a lot of people, Rhonda Byrne put the movie The Secret together. I don't know if you guys, I haven't mentioned it in like forever, but if you haven't seen it, I'm sure you can find it anywhere out there. But she basically did a whole thing based on in a really really bad time of her life. She just felt like her life was falling apart, and if I remember her husband died, and similar to Melody's story, not only when her husband died, but then her husband really knew how to run the whole business, including, moving chess pieces around to make it work, so all of a sudden, when he's not around, the business falls apart because, Melody is just, and like Rhonda, listen, I'm going to be a good wife, be a good mother, and I'm taking care of the household. You take care of the business, right? And so they not only lost their finances, but I think they also lost their home. And Rhonda Byrne just said the thing was getting so bad that the only reason that she wanted to stay alive was because of her daughter. And so I think she's only got one child. And so the story goes, well, she gave a book to Rhonda Byrne, her daughter did, and that was The Science of Getting Rich. And so when she read that book, of course, it really opened up everything for her. And in her video that she has in her testimonial, the very first thing that she says is she says, I was going, who else in the world knows about this? It can't only be me. And that's, of course, when she searched the internet and everything she could find, that she found Esther Hicks, known as Abraham Hicks. And then she also found Bob Proctor and, just on and on and on and on of people that knew about this concept called the law of attraction. And when you really think about the law of attraction for me, right? The law of attraction, again, talks about this thing of grabbing onto an imagination and getting a really emotional about the imagination. If you remember The Secret at all, the kid thought about a red bike. You know what I mean? A woman thought about a piece of jewelry. And it was the whole concept of that you not only think about it, but what you do is you get emotional. You try to get all your senses in it, just like they talk about in the six phase meditation by Vision Lakhani. So, what you got to do if you don't spend time now, where people really get messed up is I believe, in one of my goals, if I have a calling in life, is people that have been, just totally turned off because of organized religion of what I believe God and also Jesus was. I would just like to get people to try to get rid of all of that. What's that thing, Matt? Again, I think it's part of the Dunning-Kruger effect, where it's not only do people think they're smarter than they are, but what they do, and you guys have seen this right now, of course, with politics or anything, is when someone takes a side against something, it's virtually impossible to get them to see the other side. It's like all they do is, like the law of attraction, they just keep attracting garbage after garbage. And Lisa Marie brought this
Yeah,
up
it's like the sunken
yesterday.
cost fallacy too, is maybe what you're
Yeah,
talking about. Like once you've spent and dedicated so much of your time fighting for a cause, even if you realize it's not a good cause or whatever it may be, you've already sunk so much time. This is gonna be a job too, right?
yeah,
And a lot of people deal with that. Or, like the question yesterday, right? Is like when Bob asked you about all the companies, it's like the sunken cost would be to stay with, you know what I'm saying?
true,
Like, you know what
true.
I mean? Like I've already dedicated so much time.
And
So
and and I, Matt, thanks for adding on, because I would say the same about you. You know what I mean? It's
oh
like
yeah.
you find something and you get really incredible, great results with it. And then people are like, "Hey, did you see this one?" You're
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
what I think was funny is I've heard you in the last year, it's probably been more than that, where you're saying, hey, Dad, you know what? I'll give you a link and stuff. And I think that you should leave Chat GPT And then, you should go over to this other one. You can work it through my computer and you can da 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 da. And it's
Yeah.
my fault that I'm going like we just talked about. Great example. It's like, well, I got all my stuff already in Chat GPT and I've been,
Yeah.
getting gooder at it and gooder at it and gooder at it. And then all of a sudden, a blink of an eye, all this stuff changes, and you're telling everybody, "Hey, listen, I can show you how to do everything you want on Chat GPT." And I'm going like,
Well, I think yeah, there's that immediate reaction too, where like, there's that one video, and I know this isn't master's mind related, but there's that one video with Mark Cuban where it's like you start to realize instead of getting people to learn something new, it's easier to just teach them how to use the tools they already know.
yeah,
And like let's be real, a majority of people that are the average, like they're not using it for work on a daily basis, are using ChatGPT. And I
yeah.
don't know the exact numbers, but if you looked at like the corporate numbers, it's mostly Anthropic models. And there's a distinctive difference between the way that they work. Um, like I said, it's master's
Yeah.
mind, not AI mind. So
But thank you, Matt. Matt's like, let me
yeah.
go. No, it's like,
No.
but
I stopped myself.
yeah, well, thank you, Matt. So the whole concept and I always love your input, Matt. So the whole concept again is letting go, because people, when I say this next statement, I want you to pause for a second and think about it. When I say the law of attraction or I say imagination, if you guys really, really looked at the explanation of what that is, and then also look at the word imagination, I think you guys are going to understand that these all three words are virtually the same. But then you use another word in the religious spectrum and you call it faith. And then when you look at the word faith, it says basically that you're speaking of things that are not as if they were. And it's like, well, I don't believe in that garbage because that's religion, faith. But what about imagination? Well, that's pretty cool. What about law of attraction? No, that's that mystical stuff. You know what I mean? That's that airy fairy, stuff with crystals and bullshit. You know what I mean? But whatever you need to do, you need to find one of those, because the Albert Einstein and a lot of these people always talk about that, knowledge is worthless without imagination. That he's also said imagination is really all you need, because he knew that in the imagination part of it, if he just kept emotionally getting all his senses into the imagination, and of course, one of Matt's favorite people, Walt Disney. I mean, golly, you're talking about imagination. It's like you look what these people created because of imagination, right? Now, here's something that is very difficult for people. If you imagine something better than you have right now in every area, do you realize you got to let go of what you currently do? Let's do one that's simple. You want to get in better shape. How long have you been wanting to get in better shape? So what if it was 6 months? What if it was a year? What if it was 5 years? What if it's been 10 years? What if it's been something you've been struggling with your whole life? Listen closely. Then it means everything that you currently know does not frickin' work. So we hear about something that will work for us, and we might make an attempt to do it, but then we go back to what we know. No way. It's like, and here's where I think a lot of it, I've made jokes about this before, but I believe it with all my heart. It's like, do you guys know that there is not a workout routine and there is not a diet? There is not a diet supplement that doesn't work. All of them work. Every one of them work. You know how I know that? Every one of them have success testimonies. So what does that mean? When someone heard of the Mediterranean diet and they picked it, they said in their mind and their heart and their spirit and soul, this one's going to work for me. And then they imagine the way they're going to look when they do it. And then they're the ones that are on the television. They're the ones that get to write the books. They're the ones that get interviewed on TV and podcasts. Oh my God, Jill lost 219 pounds with the Mediterranean diet. And I've said this about books. You know, the reason that The Greatest Miracle in the World is my favorite book is because I found out now I chose that book. So when my mentor said, Robert, go get this book and read it and get back to me and I'll work with you, I just went, I don't think my life can get any lower unless I'm no longer here. So I believe with all my heart that this book is going to work. When I read it, it really, really emotionally changed me. And it made me believe that every day, all day, I need to be grateful for everything. I just need to be grateful for every single thing. And when people are not grateful for everything, then that allows the drifting. Do you guys get it? Right before I got on here, me and Craig always catch up a couple of minutes beforehand. And I just said to him, you know, why is there a group of people that just flat out hate the current president? And they think that works for them. When if they're religious people, it's biblical. It says, you know, give it over to God. There's the part again, let go and let God. That you're supposed to turn it over to God and pray for them. You know, Jesus, when he was here, all of his teaching was about loving your enemies. If you know the stories, all of a sudden there were Roman soldiers that had a different religion. They weren't Jewish. They were Roman Catholics. And back then, the different religions actually hated each other. Not a little bit, a lot. But then there's a story where one of these Roman soldiers was always around Jesus, just looking out for him, not really causing any problems, because he's seen people that he knew walking with Jesus and following Jesus, and he's seen the way they changed and who they become and what things they were doing. So he was always guarding Jesus, so he also got to see some of the miracles that Jesus did. And then all of a sudden, he decided to come out because he actually had a son with the maid, or, you know, the servant, right? And he didn't want to tell anybody about it, but everybody do, you know, and it's like, hey, if people knew I was also had a son with, you know, the servant, and he leaves with me too. And then all of a sudden that son got sick. And so the Roman soldier went to Jesus and he said, my son is sick. And Jesus said, do you believe that I can make him well? And he dropped to one knee and he says, I do. And then he goes, let's go. Jesus said, let's go see your son. And the Roman soldier said, all you need to do is look at me and tell me it's done. And Jesus goes, you're right. And he goes, it's done. And he started crying. He got up and he ran home and his son was well. And Jesus looked at all the other disciples that have been following him. And he goes, you guys have been following me this entire time. And that guy, that soldier, has more faith than you. He didn't need me to show up. He didn't need me to lay hands on him. He didn't need me for nothing. All he needed me to say is that it's done. Bam. So do you believe that the soldier, before getting to Jesus, already had made up his mind that if I ask Jesus to do this for me and he says he will, then my son will be okay. How much faith is that? How much imagination is that? Are you guys following? So it letting go is one thing, is just realizing that a lot of us get into situations where we have to let go, because the more we try to control it, the more we feel like we're worthless. It's like everything that we try to do to make it and steer it just gets worse. And so letting go is one thing that's hard, but then really having the imagination to believe that it can happen for somebody else. So here's some other things that I'd like to share with you to really get it into your head. It's like, so how many of you sometimes feel like you're not doing enough fast enough? Okay. So how can we be behind in our own journey? How can we be behind in our own journey with our uniqueness and DNA? If we believe in God, then we're doing our best to follow his path. How many of you guys have heard this? That God already knows where we're going. So if it was supposed to happen to you before you wanted it to, then are you following your plan or God's plan? Because if you're always upset that it's not going fast enough, and you're always upset that it's not working, and you're always upset that, this doesn't work and this doesn't work, and I'm confused and I should have been more ahead by now. I should have been more financially secure by now. I should be well by now. I should be, whatever ailment that you're dealing with, all the stuff that you really truly want. What if, I've never said this before, what if the only thing that's stopping us from getting the exact life that we want and we desire is us letting go? Us surrendering. Because we keep doing what we think that we should be doing. Did that set in for some of you? So how in the hell can we be behind? Matt brought up, that Coach Bob yesterday was like, talking about all the different things that I've done and when was the right time to leave a company and when was the right time to stay in it. Great question. And if I were to answer it right, it was probably when I finally let go. Let go is like I just had an image in my head where you just got a hold of a door and you're just like janking on it. You know what I mean? You're doing everything that you can do to jerk this door open.
And it opens the other way.
That your thought was better. She said it doesn't.
Gotta pull up the Tommy
It
Boy
doesn't
scene.
pull. It pushes. How many of you have seen that?
Yeah.
But we won't let anyone help us. We won't talk to anybody. And most important, we won't just be still and go, I need help. I need help. And I'm asking for your guidance. I'm just asking for your guidance. I'm listening. I'm quiet. Then all of a sudden, someone walks up to the door, pulls it the other direction, and walks by you.
Derp.
And you look at him and go, wow.
You smart.
And he goes, yeah, I've been here for about, 10 years. And I kept trying to open the door up, but someone was holding me from doing it. That was me on the other side, trying to open it this way. Are you guys following me? So it's like, how can you be behind in life when this is your life? So, it's really unique when you pray. because everyone tells you how to pray, but really prayer is doing nothing but just being grateful for things, not really asking for anything. If this entity, if this power already knows everything, then they already know what we need. But we're too busy guiding the ship the wrong way. You know, the classic Jim Rohn, I don't know where he got it. The wind blows the same for every one of us. It's just some people are really good at setting the sails. The first time that I don't know if you guys know this, but I was on the sail ship America that won the World Cup in Michigan. I got to go on it with a guy named Brian Baker. And you know who the guy that paid over 116 million to develop the ship, the sailboat, and the team? It was a guy named Rich DeVos, a multi-billionaire and the owner of Amway. So he's sitting around going, I need to do something with my money. And then he found out that we lost the American Cup to I don't know what country. But they came over here and took the American Cup, the sailing world championship, away from the Americans. And he just went, hey, I got money. That'd be something cool to do. So we'll redesign new sail ships, and we'll train new people and get new coaches and win it back. So there's a lot of people out there that do a lot of cool stuff with their money. But wouldn't it be neat? Hey, what do you do with your money? Well, I spent a bunch of money to build a new sailboats and create a new team to win the Americans Cup back. And I thought that was a pretty cool thing. So again, you're running your own race. And like I talked about, if you believed that, now that we're talking about all this other stuff that, the 3D and 4D and, quantum physics and being able to see all this stuff. And some people are just, going, listen, we're in a simulation like Matrix. You allow all this stuff to sort of go out there and just mentally in your mind go, wow. So because there was a really big thing about that with, if you guys, I don't know if you guys are Matrix people that like the Matrix, but, there was a number of parts in there where, the lady goes, do you want a piece of candy? And he goes, why would you ask me a question if you already know what I'm going to do? See, there's things like that. And she says, I know what you're going to do, but you don't until you decide. It's like, so, hey, I know what you're going to do, but you need to know you have free will. Are you going to let go and let God, or are you going to white knuckle it? Right? So think how many other movie scenes that are aware of this. Writers are aware of this. All this talk about aliens, writers and movie scripts and all this stuff. You know how many scenes are out there? And for those of you that are not Star Wars, people, but, they got this radar thing, this high-tech radar thing, and all Luke's got to do is just drop the missile in the exhaust shot. And if he drops a missile in there, it blows up the Death Star, and he doesn't eliminate the rest of the world. And so he's got it down, and he flies through it, and he dumps a missile, and he misses. And they're like, you only have one more try. Turns around, he's flying back, and all of a sudden he hears the voice. Luke, use the Force. And he hits the button, gets rid of the navigational system and the radar system, the targeting system, and everybody on the other planet goes, did he turn off? He turned off his stuff. Luke used the Force. Bingo. hits it, blows up the Death Star. But how many movies do you guys realize? If you brought up, that'd be neat, to I'm sure someone probably thought of doing a clip like that, Matt, where has anyone done a clip where people are trying to do it on their own, they're not succeeding, and then they let go? In fighting scenes, it always seems like, the person's just getting, fighting someone that might be more skilled. Karate Kid. See, they'll keep popping to my head.
Rocky.
Yeah, Rocky. All these ones where Karate Kid, where, they're just flat out cheating and the coach wants them to cheat. Sweep his leg. Sweep his leg. And then all of a sudden he's got to do the crane. You know what I mean? And puts the leg up. Kicks him in the face, wins the tournament. Rocky, exactly like Craig said. It's like we do everything in our power, in our thoughts that we think that we can do. And then when we realize that it's not us, then we go, okay, I'm just going to let go. I'm just going to let go and trust. Trust. So it's always you versus you. Have you guys figured that out? A lot of us want to blame outside stuff. If it wasn't the president, if it wasn't for this person, if it wasn't for the government, if it wasn't for my mom and dad. Do you know how many people mom and dads have destroyed? All of them, except the ones that said, no, I'm good. I look at my mom and dad now as a blessing. Because I got kicked out in the street. I'm living in foster homes, and I realized, man, I need to figure this out right now. I need to figure this out now. I already realize I'm on my own. No one's coming to save me. There's no one to call. It's like, it's just nuts. So you're the only one that can fulfill your assignment. What if you were just asked? This is pretty crazy here. If you're the only one that can fulfill your assignment, how many of you guys really truly know what your calling is, what your gift is, what your assignment is? Deborah Grady raised her hand. And this might be a good one for Bob as well. I know mine keeps changing. See, because here's a part of not letting go. This is when you guys will know that you're a control freak. Is when you know that you know that you know that you know the steps that's supposed to give to your next assignment, when you really don't realize that maybe what you're just doing is you're just doing that for a while in a temporary mind, the seasons. And you're just doing that enough to get you enough information, or at least you're doing something and learning something until you get on the right path. Does that make sense to you guys? So it's like you're doing what you know, and you see you're being blessed, and the flow seems good, and you're happy, and you got joy, and you're fulfilled, and then all of a sudden the energy changes. As soon as the energy changes, it's like what Matt talked about. It's like, well, wait a minute. I've already put too much effort and time in learning this piece of software. I don't want to change. Well, that's why you have freedom of choice. That's why you got free will. And it's like, listen, I'm not interested in learning new software. I'm not interested in learning how to do new things. I've already paid money for this software, and damn it, I'm going to learn how to do it. And this needs to work for me. And all of a sudden, bam, everything changes. It's like I tell people all the time, we all get to pick what technology we get to use. But isn't it funny how everyone's hung up on it? When me and Matt first started using the internet, I'm so proud of Matt for so many reasons. But Matt and I were using the internet to build our business, being entrepreneurs, before any network marketer. There wasn't one person that was doing videos and taking a half a day. I'm not bullshitting. 5-6 hours to upload a 10-minute video to Google Video.
That's
I don't
not
know.
counting editing the videos on computers that, you know, you're counting upload time. You're not counting render time
No, we're not
either.
talking.
And then you have to count editing time and shooting time and lighting time, and I keep going and going. There's a
God.
reason why I like AI. I'm just like, the lighting looks like this, and I'm like, oh my god, I have to set up 10 lights and do all this stuff.
Right?
And then after me and Matt would do all this editing to get a video correct, then it had to go through hours and hours of compression because the video was too big to ever put up online. You'd go to
no one
load
be
the
able to
video
stream
up.
it.
You'd go to load the video up and it'd say 11 months.
Yeah, the camera that I had at the current time, because I loved cameras, shot at 1080p, which was like amazing, right? But the internet at that time, most people were watching content in 720 still or 480. So it's like it had to be down resed either in rendering and then the uploading. I mean, it's interesting too because I told somebody this the other day, but I also feel like we were one of the first to do streaming too.
Yes.
Like we legit were live streaming when you would go set up everything on livestream.com. Like that's you set all that stuff up.
We were doing this stuff, you guys, before YouTube.
We were. Yeah, Google
Yeah.
Video.
Thank you, Matt. And so
I remember we did that with Gano Excel or Gano Life too.
Yeah.
Replace your pay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, replaceyourpay.com. That's what we had for a domain. So I'm just saying that you know, I love being the person that is constantly letting go, constantly not hanging on for stuff too long, and just going, you know, hey, I'm listening. I'm being quiet. Where do I need to go? Where do I need to go? What do I need to do next? And when you get an inkling to do that, do it. Go into action. Like Melody was saying yesterday, well, you know, how do you get people to actually execute and go into action? It's like, and I'll just leave you guys with this. When you think about how you should act toward your spouse, how you should act toward your children, your grandchildren, how you should act toward family and friends. Do you guys know this about me? Because you guys get to be on videos with me all the time. But are you guys ever aware of a time I'm not trying to get gooder? And not only am I getting gooder, but how fast I can find something that can move us a little closer to the mark, always targeting, going toward the mark. And then as soon as that's not relevant anymore, then I just drop it. I don't need to talk about it anymore. It's not relevant anymore. Because it's the 10,000 ways that you have to do it to get to the right thing. So it's just baby step, baby step, baby step, baby step, baby step, baby step, and just kept doing that. And here's the only way that you guys can feel, again, use big words on that, emotion, feel. This is the only way that you can feel bad, is if you're listening to yourself. You're listening to yourself and you're doing compare-itis to other people's journeys. One of the things that I seen is a great comment. I don't know if you guys seen this, but on X, it showed all these robots that beat Bolt, you know, the fastest human being on the planet. They had like 4 robots during the robot games in China that ran faster. And what was so funny is it showed all these robots running faster than any human being did. And then you know what happened at the end? They just ran into a wall
They just
and just they didn't know they had a big cushion wall up there, and they all ran into the wall and just broke things on them.
Gosh.
And there was all these people going, "Oh my God, look it. They didn't figure out, how to teach them to stop. They didn't teach them how to do this. They didn't teach them how to do this. Why did they do this? Why did they do this?" It's just like that professor that just writes on the wall. He goes 9 times 0 is 0, and then 9 times 1 is 9, and then he goes 9 times 2 is 18, and he goes all the way down to where it's 9 times 9, and he puts 80. And then he puts 9, and so then he looks around and everyone's laughing when he does it. And I forget, I think he did, 9 times 10. Yeah. And then he turned around and everyone's laughing. All the students are laughing. And he goes, "What's wrong?" And everybody goes, "You idiot, you did that one wrong. 9 times 9 is 81, not 80. And all of them are laughing, ribbing each other. And he goes, "Wow, you guys are really trained." And they go, "What do you mean?" And he goes, "I got the rest of them right. But all you guys did is point on the one I did wrong. Not one of you gave me any praise or recognition for getting the other ones right. We're all focused on what's wrong." And there was only one person underneath there that I seen in the comments that goes, "The goal, the imagination, the goal was to get a robot to run faster than a human being. That was the goal. The goal wasn't what happens after he gets that goal. We'll work on that now." But let's focus on beating a human being first. Let's just get that done. And then when we get that done, then we'll figure out how to teach the robot to continue to run, maybe go around a corner, how to slow down. But don't you think that, again, what I believe is the biggest problem in the world right now is social media. Social media is just straight out the biggest liar. Lie, 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 lie. And people listen to them, they share them, they tell everybody. Remember how you're supposed to remember someone's name or remember a joke? Just say it 3 times. So someone hears some kind of bullshit lie on the internet, and then they just share it with another person, and they share it with another person, and they share it with another person. And now guess what? It's the truth. And then if someone tells you that it's a lie, then you make up an excuse for spreading it. And then when they actually try to give you the facts that that's not true, you go, "No, the facts are a lie now. The actual facts are a lie." And you guys know what I do. My defense is always, "I don't know." All over. I'm watching people all over. Hey, you know what? We flat ass lost the war against Iran. Do you guys know we lost it? And I'm going, I don't know. I'd like to argue with you. I'd like to debate with you, but I'd be debating with you from some kind of information that I don't know if I was lied to or not. So why should we spend any time talking about shit that you don't know for a fact? Well, I was just bored, so I thought I'd talk about some shit that's upsetting me. You know what I mean? It's like, you don't know. You don't know. And it's like, but I hear that stuff and I'm just like, what? So I try to disengage from that because I'm human just like everyone else. And sometimes I get caught up in stuff and I'm going like, what? And then they go, but I don't want to tell anybody about it. And then sometime I mess up and I do tell people about it. They got an opposite opinion. It is like, geez, come on, Robert, let go and let God. So for those of you that, you know, do like law of attraction better or you like imagination better, I know one thing for a fact. Matt right now has an imagination and a vision in his head of what he's going to create. He always does. And so do I. So if you're constantly are always thinking, you know, not thinking, it's feeling. If you're constantly in an imagination of a better for you, better for your family, how wonderful it's going to be, then you consistently just put that out there and you just keep getting good feelings about that. And how it happens doesn't matter. I still tell this to people and they don't believe me. You know, me looking at my entire career and all the millions I've made. And I think about how those leaders got to me and how they ended up making millions and how we made money off of that. And I didn't call any one of them. I had the imagination of getting one of these trophies. I had the imagination of getting to the top. I had the imagination of doing a screenshot. And when I did that screenshot, it was me at the top position and also number one. And all I knew is that, man, I got to do 1 million plus in volume to pull that off. Then the next thing I know, I'm walking across the stage and they're handing me a plaque, you know, with 3 or 4 million in volume. That equated to a really nice income, right? Where'd the people come from? Imagination. I let go and let God. I imagined those people in my group. My imagination was, wow, what if I'm in the front row sitting with my lovely wife and they're starting to do awards? And when they say number 10, that person gets up, everybody applauds, and the person gets on stage and goes, I want to thank Robert and Terry Hollis. And then they bring number 9 up. Everybody applauds. They stand up on stage and they say, I want to thank Robert and Terry Hollis. Number 8, number 7, number 6, number 5, number 4, number 3, number 2. Terry and I have sat in the audience and had the top 9 people go up on stage, and they were all in our group. Every one of them were in our group. Craig emceed it. Melody was one of them. Do you guys find that interesting? And then they talk about the person that's number 1, and then Terry and I go up. It's like, that's my imagination. That is my faith. That's my understanding on how this works. Is intentional. And I'm willing to let go of anything that's stopping me from going down that road. If I need to drop something or let it go or do something different to follow the journey that I'm supposed to be on, then I need to drop everything and follow that journey, follow that path. I've said this before. Matt, what we're doing right now with Unlimited Wisdom, Matt has had this idea for years. I didn't listen to him.
I mean, the funny classic thing about that is like, we always don't listen to the people that are closest to us, myself included. So, you know, the amount of times that Hannah's told me something that really would have been beneficial, and then I didn't do it till 2 or 3 months later. Being married now almost 12 years, it happens quite a bit. You know what I mean?
She's a
She's
smart
smart.
cookie. She's a
She
smart
is. So she'll
cookie.
be like, I think, you should do this or that. And so for the last month, she's like, I think you really need to sit down, find the time, get the jobs done that you need, and just start making films. Like, you really need to do that. And I'm like, I'm now just finally starting to listen to her and do it again. And I'm like, holy shit. It actually makes my life a lot better in the
Right.
other areas because I'm meant to do it. So,
Yeah.
And I don't know who else has told you, man, you finish one movie and put it out in the universe and it's over.
yeah, somebody else.
It was Terry, not me. No.
Right.
Well,
No,
thank you,
it was
man. I
both.
love you.
It was everybody. You know what I mean? Because the thing is like everybody wants for everybody here. Like I want all of you to succeed, right? I want you to
Right.
do the things that you want to do, and so it's just interesting because we always feel like we need permission when we don't. You know what I mean?
Well,
So,
it could be a couple of things, Matt. One, I now that we've gone through that mastermind and on drifting, I'm so much more aware that Matt knows that he can put the movie together. Matt is got a nice gene of perfectionism, so when it's released, it is going to shake the universe, no doubt. I believe where
I hope
Matt's
so.
problem, that what I believe that Matt has a problem with, and he can correct me, is that that's putting a lot of effort and time and everything into a project that when he does let it go and puts it in the universe, now you got to deal with every part of it. What if it doesn't see? What if it doesn't get seen? What if it doesn't bring you money? What if you send it to a couple of contests and it doesn't win? See, these are all things that Matt doesn't find out because he won't do that. So then he gets up in the morning and he's a little bit tired and he sees Hannah and he sees Ezra and he's going, I need to put more money in the bank. This is fucking ridiculous. And that's what takes
Yeah.
the rest of his day.
Well, yeah, and people. Like I was telling, the honest truth is like, it, you know, I can't wait. I really can't wait, you guys, to go back to becoming a recluse with a lot of the areas of my life.
Right.
You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Because like even when I was, or this morning, me, Hannah, and Ezra were hanging out on the couch and just watching stuff, and it's like, I'm not one to post like there's zero pictures on Facebook unless my parents posted them, which I don't mind, of Ezra from me. There's no pictures of Ezra or my wife on my Instagram. I
Right.
don't think. I'm the type of person, I've always been this way, that like that area is very like private to me. And it's interesting when somebody will add me, like we'll meet a new friend or I'll make a new friend or something. And they'll be like, well, I want to add you on Instagram. And then they add me and they're like, wow, you have all these videos and everything like that. But where's the pictures of you and like your family and stuff? I'm like, I don't do that on social media.
Excuse me. Yeah.
Social media is an outlet for me to perform or to get recognition to help grow my business, but it's not a place for me to share myself. I share myself with my family,
Yep.
and
Same.
my friends.
Yep.
So like it's I'm excited to get back to the private version of that where I can just perform in the public and then go back. Like
Yeah.
I love, there's certain celebrities or certain people that you guys know where it's like their lives are so boring they never make any posts about them. You know what I mean? One of my favorite artists, and I brought this up before, is Kendrick Lamar. But unless if he's making something, he's just hanging out with his family most of the time.
Perfect.
And same with a lot of the other people. Like I don't know how many kids Steven Spielberg has or what they're up to or any of those things. I guess we all know what Bill Gates' kids are up to. But anyway.
I don't even know that.
No, I just saw it the other day. I knew people here would get it. So
Well, yeah, and I totally agree. So, it's that Joseph Campbell statement, and I'll leave you guys with this. It's like, that where all your treasure lies is in the cave that you're scared to go into. Look at everything in your life and just really simply say, what is the thing that I'm most scared of? And when I'm scared of it, I just decide that I'll find a way to do everything but that thing. Because all of you know it. You know what it is. And what we do is we just go, yeah, I'll just find out how to do everything else but that one thing. And when you do that one thing, and for me, it was not only unlimited wisdom, but I'm the same with unlimited wisdom as Matt is with his movies and his story stuff. Is that for me to step out and do master's mind and really, really, really focus on how I can get people connected to that higher power, how I can get them to figure out what their gift is, and how I can get them to lean into faith. This, put on their super cape, believe the power is there, and lean into that imagination and emotion and step into that ether, step into that vortex, step into that energy. Because if you keep your imagination and thoughts in that area, then you're going to attract all the people and the resources and money that you need. And I'm living proof of it. I'm not one of those people that get to, make a comment like that. And then you can look at my past and go, this guy's pretty much got to be bullshitting us. You know what I mean? I've lived in homes that I never thought I'd live in. I drive automobiles I never thought I'd drive. I vacation to places that I never ever thought I would go. And my life has just been a miracle after a miracle after a miracle after a miracle. Even the silly stuff that I did that I didn't believe I should do, that got Matt in connection with Hannah. I was stepping out on faith with doing that. That was me starting my own company. It's like, yeah. Maybe the only reason I stepped into faith to do that and reached out and started to do that is just so Matt could meet Hannah. Because as soon as Matt said, listen, I want to take over and take these things over, it didn't take long for the merchant accounts to all go, well, we're not paying you anymore. And it destroyed the company. So now I have to do something different. Isn't that weird? You know what I mean? So what? I stepped out and did that one thing so Matt could meet Hannah, and now Terry gets to meet with, hang out with Ezra. I it didn't feel good while I was going through it, but I'm glad that I did it. That makes sense? So maybe that's for some of you. That's something that I did, stepped out, did it. Matt believed in me, Terry believed in me, everybody believed in me, and it was just for this short season. It was just for that short season. Can I look back and say that was a failure? Not looking at Ezra.
No, yeah, it's kind of crazy because that's life, and people don't realize stuff like that. Like the cool thing about life, and this is one of those quotes too, and I love what you're saying, Dad, and I believe stuff like this. I've seen it in my own life, and I know it's master's mind, so it works as a share, I think. But you have to be in certain situations to be pushed in the direction you're supposed to be in and grow in. And like the interesting thing is I've been grinding over the last few months doing a lot of work, and I've been able to make enough money to make sure that everything's okay and do all of this. I mean, we're lucky to live a very nice lifestyle, so that's something that you have to maintain. But the interesting thing is it's like, why does it only get to that level where there's breathing room and then it doesn't go further than that? And the answer is because you haven't made a fucking film yet. That's why.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? And so
Yeah.
that's the type of stuff that I think you're sharing, Dad, is it's like you can be in these situations where you're like, man, why am I still struggling with this? Or why do I hate doing this? And it's like, you still haven't taken that next step that's uncomfortable for you to do. Right?
And it's obvious. It's not.
Oh, yeah.
It's not like if someone said to you, and that's why the 6 phase meditation is so powerful. Because if I said to Matt right now, Matt, I need you to give us 3 or 4 minutes, and I just need you to tell me about your overall day of what's going on in your day 3 years from now. So it's August 23rd. What? 2029. and tell me
Yeah.
from the time that Matt gets up to the time that he goes to sleep, where is he? What is he doing? Who's around? What's happening? And all of a sudden it's like,
Yeah.
damn, I
No,
need
it's
I
fun. It's
need
like
to
the
get
dream board
there
stuff we were
right
talking about.
now.
Hmm. Well, yeah, because
It-
it's like imagine waking up, you get here, I'll give you a little taste. A little, you get your espresso coffee, you got your nice
You. I love it
espresso
so good.
coffee stuff. You walk out, you get to sit on your front porch. Maybe you smoke a joint because it's a Sunday
Woo!
and
Wake
you're
and bake, man.
relaxing.
Wake
Tastes
and
good with
bake.
the coffee. Then you get on your little golf cart
Mm-hmm.
and you drive from your house to the studio. Same lot, same spot, right? You get off, you start your day at work and stuff. Ezra and Hannah and my
Can I
family
say
can
you?
pop in.
Can I
I'll be
say
like,
you
"Hey, Mads
drop
Mikkelsen is
Ezra
here
off at
today."
my house first?
Yeah,
Before you go to the studio, you drop him off with me first.
right. I said there's somebody I've always wanted to like invite over for dinner if I worked with them, and it would be Bryan Cranston because he just seems like such a funny guy.
Right?
And I feel like that's another fate thing. I feel like at some point I will work with him as an actor, and it'll be like, well, you're staying on the lot because there's another aspect of this that I wanted to do, which is build. I want to build like one of those old fashioned motels, but make them all look nice in the inside. And this is where we'll host actors or people like that when they come fly in to do production in the studio area. So I want it to look like super nice and fancy, and that requires a lot of money and a lot of time. Like you said, Dad, you dream about it and you go. And the crazy thing with the AI, and I'm sure some of you guys might have done this already, you can make a picture and look and see it visually if you can describe it well enough, which I'm really good at. So it's like,
Yep.
oh, I can see what the house would look like. I can see what
Yep.
the lot would look like. Super fun. Just pick a spot, download a bunch of pictures of the area, or you can do this even with your house if you want to remodel your house, right? And
right.
be like, I wonder what it would look like if I had a game room over here, and just
Right.
prompt AI to put a game room there and see what it would look like.
Oh, very cool.
Got to have a bowling
Yeah.
alley.
Yeah, that's the interesting spot, right? Like, how far do we go down the fun route too? Because,
Go-kart track.
yeah, you got go-kart tracks, you got like the house I sent you guys. It's crazy, right? You can kind of
Yeah.
go crazy with it.
I love that. I
And
love
then
that thing that you
I
said.
tell people, Matt, when you do that, just spend a moment doing that. And then when you look back at what you're doing, allow some of the stuff that you do on a day-to-day basis, allow it to really resonate with you. So you go, I don't need to ever fucking be doing this shit again.
You know, like what's
You
so
see what I
interesting
mean?
about what you're
It's like your
sharing?
mind
Yeah.
just goes, it's like me. If I use my conscious mind will go, well, maybe it's time for you to build an Instagram. Maybe it's time for you to build like a better X audience. You know, maybe you should really focus on making your YouTube money. You know, Mr. Beast makes money. And you know, maybe you should be doing that. And all of it goes, now you needn't do any of that stuff. You need to keep speaking to those that have ears to hear, make them feel like miracles, get them to imagine and connect them with me. You need to be building unlimited wisdom and speaking, you know, miracles into people. How is that going to make me money? It's like, no, listen, if you go all in, I'll bring the people, build it, and they will come. Mom and I were watching something, and it was like the guy just was saying, well, I'm going to do this and this. And they go, see, he built it and they came. You know what I mean? And it's like,
Oh,
but
the guy with his house.
yeah.
That's well, I mean, that's the way
Oh,
that
listen. Yeah,
that's the way
I'll
that
just
it is
talk
for
about the
sure. Yeah,
Sunday
feel
deal.
free.
If you looked at this guy's house, he's an artist. And if you looked at his house, you would just say, I just met the world's biggest hoarder of nothing but garbage and shit. It was on Sunday morning. And so he starts with one part of his room, and I mean the stuff that he collects is just straight out garbage. You know what I mean? And they go, well, how do you support this? And he goes, well, I take so many pictures on it and put it on the internet that, you know, for a few times a year, I open it up to the public and people pay money to come see my house. And I'm going like, so he said, I started doing it with my backyard. So you should see my, and if you see all this stuff, you're just going, this guy's passionate about doing this stuff. He makes stuff out of this garbage that he collects. He says he's not a hoarder. but it's like there's not a part on his floors or his walls or his ceiling of every room, and now in the backyard where he hasn't made art out of some kind of garbage. You know what I mean? And he's so passionate about it that he ends up on what? Sunday morning news. So, like, if he didn't have an audience already on social media showing his house, now everybody knows where his house
Well,
is.
that's
And
the
it's
thing.
like,
Like, we all love watching and seeing interesting people. I think that's why the Sunday morning show is so good, because they tend to be really good at like finding those people, right?
yeah,
Um, actually pretty skilled at it. I wonder if there's a YouTube channel out there that's similar. But it it's cool because the thing that's the most interesting about another person is their passion for something that's uniquely about them, for them.
yeah,
And yet, like, one of the things that we all do is do all of the things that we feel like everybody else does because that's what we're supposed to do, right? Like, everything that I've done web design, all of the stuff that you've seen with the Unlimited Wisdom are a bunch of skills I've accumulated over a long span of time.
yeah,
Filmmaking and storytelling is so uniquely different than those areas, it's a humbling experience. It's a different experience, right? And so, but it's so much more uniquely myself. So like it makes it feel similar, like you're saying, right? It's like, well, maybe that's the reason why certain things haven't taken off, because the part of my core is not the part I'm engaging with. I'm engaging with the brain part
yeah.
instead of the core part, right? And if you do the core part, everybody shows up, like you're saying, or it's like, well, there you go. It's like the whisper thing that Steven Spielberg
Yeah.
talked about. But continue, Dad.
Well, thank you, Matt. I love you and appreciate you so much. And I thank each and every one of you for taking the time to get on here. Please, please, please just be quiet. Think about where your imagination is. The first step, the always first step, is imagining a better future for you and your family. What is your assignment? What are your gifts? How can you touch and serve more people? Those things will always guide you in the right place. And if you're saying, well, I need to be doing this because I need to make money, drifting. That's drifting. It's just flat out drifting. The thing that you're called to do, your gift, is something that you can't see where the money's coming from. Does that make sense? It's like you go, well, listen, I'm going to do this, and you just got to believe that build it and they will come, like we talked about. Use the force. So I love each and every one of you. Thank you so much. Thank you, my lovely wife Terry. Thank you, Deborah Brana, Shelley, Melody, Dustin, Lisa Marie. Again, thanks for inspiring this, Lisa Marie. I love you. And Coach Bob, Ben, Deborah Grady, Michael and Angela, and of course Matt, Hannah and Ezra, and then the hostess with the mostest, Craig Jackman, and his cool girlfriend Sue.
Have a great Sunday, guys.